of the best word processors out there. As we ran the software, a couple other things we noticed. The interface, even though it looks like Windows 98, in fact is actually is built on the KDE interface, but they've made it really easy. And ease of use is really one of the hallmarks of Corel's Linux. One of the things we like the most about it is it's very easy to install. If you ever installed Linux and been through a lot of problems with it, you'll know that this is important. The nice thing about this is it installs easily and it recognizes most of the hardware. Now, one word of warning, we've had our network card in there and it did not recognize our network card, even though Corel said it recognized that same card back in the office. But if you're looking for a Linux and you've been worried about whether you're going to be able to install it or not, this is the easy Linux to install. Corel Linux, it will be out in, I got to look at my notes here, it'll be out in the end of November and it's only going to be $60. Think about that. No Windows tax on your system, Leo. What do you think?
Yeah, right. Hey, thank you. Actually, no, that's exciting. Any Linux is good as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Jim.
This is actually the best Linux we've seen.
All right, that's great.
I think easiest anyway.
All right, thank you, Jim. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Kay Patello on the show floor where she's talking to one of the Comdexters. That's all as Comdex Live from ZDTV continues right after this.
Check out our Comdex Hub, ZDTV.com/Comdex. All of the keynote speeches, it's all there. Check it out. Be here with us, ZDTV.com/Comdex. All right, folks, as you know, much of Comdex is about the people and all of the people who come here. It's a very happy geek zoo to come to. As you can see here are some of the inmates. So, I thought we would take a moment and meet a couple of the people who have come here to Comdex. I'd like y'all to meet my new friend, Osmo.
Oh, well, hey folks, giddy up there. Here we are at Comdex, huh?
How you doing?
Well, how am I doing? I'm having a great time here. This is like so incredible. You know, life is not all about one big joke, is it? I mean, we need a little technology now and then.
You look a little familiar to me. I didn't know you were a geek.
A geek? I'm like the original geek. Hey, baby, I am one cool geek. And don't you forget that one.
Well, alrighty. So what are you looking for at Comdex? Anything in particular?
Well, it just so happens I happen to be down at the iOmega booth. And over there, they got this incredible products there. You know, a little later, they're going to be revealing the Agfa CL30 with a click actually built into the camera. It is just unbelievable.
All right, this guy seems to know his Comdex. As you can see, a lot of strange things going on here. We sort of took a poll to see who came the furthest to see our show today, and our friend Bruce here told us he came from where, Bruce?
I come from Mars.
From Mars, otherwise known as Pasadena. Leo?
Yeah.
Back to you.
I've met Bruce, and I think he does come from Mars. That's absolutely true. Hey, Comdexters, it's time to say hi to one of your own. Please welcome geek legend and ZDTV senior tech editor, Patrick Norton. They love you. They love you. He's the man with all the toys. It's good to be the geek. So, Patrick, we're going to talk about cameras today, right?
We're going to talk about cameras in a big way today.
All right, what do you got?
We got new formats. Big thing. Check out that Sony, the mini disc cam on the
I was
left.
just playing with this. Now, this looks like a video camera.
It looks like a video camera. Flip that puppy over real quick. And right under your finger there, we can actually poke one thing.
Disc eject.
Check that out. Mini disc 2 format, a 650 megabyte disc.
So instead of playing videotapes, is actually recording onto this.
Exactly.
How many hours of time can we record on here?
Unfortunately, hours aren't really anywhere
How many minutes?
At the high resolution, we're talking about 20 minutes.
Well, that's all right. That's not bad.
It's a lot of mini discs to make a movie, Leo.
Yeah, and these mini discs aren't cheap.
Well, the other interesting thing is they actually have on-camera nonlinear editing inside of that. So if you pull the stylus out of the base of that...
Wait a minute. You mean I can edit with this thing?
You can edit with that thing.
Where's the stylus?
If you actually turn around at the base of the little window there on the left side...
Oh, you should have showed me this before we went on the air. I have no idea. You show me where. Oh, there it is. I see. The little Palm Pilot thing there.
Exactly. You kick it to play, and they actually bring up a menu, so you can not only do cuts, edits, move scenes around, and actually do wipes and transitions in between them. All while it's inside the camera.
That is wacky. That is
Now,
amazing.
there's just one other nasty little problem.
What's that?
It doesn't really connect. You can't actually do a stock video download, so there's no 1394 port, so you can't pull the video. Hey,
Sony
I didn't make it.
made a
I'm just
camera without
reporting on it,
iLink?
Leo.
That's nuts. All right.
Go figure.
Okay. So on the balance, this is an interesting technology, but maybe not something
Sony
for
does a
everyone.
lot of that. You know, it's an interesting technology. It'll either take off, or there'll be a lot of them for sale really cheap in about 8 months.
Now Kramer, or that pseudo Kramer that was down there with Kate, was talking about this new AGFA camera. What's so cool about this?
We got another thing where they're trying to figure out a cheaper way to do things other than memory. So this one's actually using a click disk inside of it. So you've got 40 megabytes of storage. You're taking 1.5 megabyte pixels. So you got a reasonably good quality camera. For about $500, you can actually store hundreds of normal resolution images on that disk.
So it's a still camera, but it uses a click disk instead of a...
If you flip that lid forward on the left side there,
This
and
thing?
the disc, actually right on the other side,
Yeah.
and the disc should actually pop out for you.
Oh, there it is. All right. That's a click disk. 40 megabytes on this, right?
40 megabytes, and those are selling for like $10 now.
Well, that's not bad.
Especially if you think of like a compact flash in the same size is going to sell for about 75 to about $100, depending on where you buy it.
And this is pretty reliable storage.
I'm not going to jump on one. I'm not
Right.
going to pitch it across the room, but inside the camera it should hold up fairly
Patrick,
well.
if you jumped on any of this equipment, it would be a bad thing. Let me tell you right now. Right?
Cold-hearted man.
As long as you're talking the click, once you get the click out of here, how do you get it into the computer?
Well, you're going to have to use some sort of a click drive adapter like
Here's
the one
click
that's
drive.
back there.
All right. And this basically, the click goes into this, and it goes into a docking station, and then can
Exactly.
copy it into the...
Sort of a Palm Pilot for memory disk type things.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. What else we got?
We got the world's ugliest camera.
This thing, it not only is ugly, it's heavy.
It's ugly, it's heavy, but it's really, really cool. It's a Panasonic Palm Cam, and what they're doing, they've actually put an entire super disk drive in there.
So instead of floppy disks, this has the 120 megabyte super disk.
Exactly. So our camera maven backstage, James L. Kim, when he was testing this, he was kind of horrified when he saw it. Then he takes a full picture. It's a 1.3 megapixel image. It's got a decent quality image in there. And what it actually does is he started taking pictures. And he started taking a bunch of pictures. And he still had 350 pictures left.
You get a lot of data on
Yeah,
here.
so that's actually, it's a nice way to figure out how to get more storage off of digital images without having to deal with either like carrying a notebook computer with you or actually having to deal with, spending $2,000 or $3,000 on memory modules.
Well, that's been the rap on all these digital cameras. You had to download them to the computer or buy more memory modules.
Exactly.
The thing I don't like about the Sony, which copies to floppy disk, is it's so darn slow in between pictures. Is this a little bit faster?
It's a little bit faster.
Not a lot.
It's not going to blow your mind, but it actually does a fairly good job so far.
All right, let's talk about the software you've got here.
Talk about the software. Actually, Adobe Photo Deluxe. It's was just up here to demonstrate the pictures off of these two systems.
Oh, all right. So we got these great pictures.
Yeah, we actually printed out a couple sample shots from there if folks want to see what they look like.
All right. And then, by the way, as long as we're talking super disk, you'd need a super disk drive.
Yeah.
This is an external. Many computers now come with super disks
In
internal.
a lot of
the
cases, it's a $70 or $100 option if you're
Yeah.
buying a new PC.
Yeah.
So the prices come down a long
I'm
way
not
on
crazy
those.
about them compared to the zips because they're a little bit slower.
And you've never been afraid of click death.
Well, there's no click death in this, right? All right. And they do run standard floppies. That's
Exactly.
the downward compatible thing. All right. Hey, that's great. If you want more information on all these products, as usual, Patrick has put together some great stuff. It's on our hub, zdtv.com/Comdex. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Leo.
you bringing these by. This might be fun. We might take some more pictures of the audience in a little bit later on. Now, you stay right here. Still to come on ZDTV Comdex Live. See how your web surfing is going to get easier and more portable. Also, Kate visits the Broadband Pavilion Jungle. Plus, they like that. Plus, Jim has a few new mobile devices any geek would be proud to have. All that and more as ZDTV Comdex Live continues. Smile, baby, smile. Yeah, I got you. I got you. It's you, baby. All right, yeah, yeah.
You're watching ZDTV Comdex Live.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, and ZDTV's live coverage of the largest technology trade show in the world, Comdex Fall 1999. I'm Leo Laporte, and ZDTV is here to bring you all the best products and trends of this year's convention right from the show floor, and we're doing it live, and we're having a great time. Now, talking about this year's theme, of course, and the kind of the trend that Comdex is moving towards, an internet show, and what we'd like you to do is get in the chat room, send us your email, let us know what you think of the notion of one trade show for all of technology, for the internet, for computers, for software, for hardware. Is it a good idea? Does there need to be one place once a year that everybody goes and gets together and sees the latest and greatest things? I think after anybody's come to Comdex once, they probably would agree it's a pretty amazing place to come. But can you see everything in just a few days? We're going to try to do our best bringing it to you. If you'd like to participate in the chat room, chat.zdtv.com, or just get a hold of us via email, or go to our Comdex hub, of course, at zdtv.com/Comdex. That's the integrated web content and Comdex coverage, www.zdtv.com/Comdex. All right, now, my friends, let's move right along with a whole lot more. Jason's on our, as you know, on ZDTV, what we do a lot of is netcams. He's on our ZDTV 3Com netcam network. One of our good friends from Mequon, Wisconsin, Jason. Hey, Jason, how you there? Are you there?
Hey, Leo, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Say hello to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hello, Las Vegas.
Well, it's so great. The ZDTV is this two-way interactive thing. See, there you are in Wisconsin, and you can actually be at Comdex. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's like a new way to interact. Without the internet, we wouldn't even be here. It's
Why should
cool.
Bill Gates be the only guy who can do this, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
We should all
actually.
get to do it. So what would you like, if you could be here right now, Jason, what's the first thing you'd like to find out about?
Well, the first thing I would go to is ZDTV, of course. But
All right.
the second thing I would like to find out about is wireless technology. I have a laptop, and I know wireless internet is kind of far away, but I was wondering, is there any new technology coming out for wireless networks, wireless internet? Is there anything coming out with new products?
Oh, if you were here today, I think you would see this is, in many ways, the wireless show. We're right near the Bluetooth Pavilion, which is, of course, a wireless technology. It's going to wire your entire household. There are, and we were talking about this earlier, web pads galore, internet appliance devices galore. This really is the first time we've seen a broad variety. And you know, the thing that I think is very exciting is many of them don't run Windows. Many of them are Java platforms or Linux platforms. And as always, and you know me, Jason, I think the more diversity, the better. So it's a very exciting. I wish you could be here, Jason, but I'll tell you what.
I wish I could, too.
Keep watching, because we're going to take a look at some stuff you're going to be very interested in, all right?
Okay, I will.
All right, stay right here, because Jim Latterback has got something you are going to want to see. Show us what you have, Jim.
Yeah, well, you know, before the top, I started talking about the post-PC era that we're entering in, and I have that up here. And they're products based around a chip from National Semiconductor. Now, you've all heard about Intel Inside. Well, National Semiconductor has a chip called a geode that is used to build a lot of these internet appliances, wireless web pads, whatever you want to call them. All these devices that don't run Windows, they don't look like computers. They get you on the internet, they do email, and they do lots of great stuff, but they're not PCs. I'm going to jump right into it. There are three sorts of geode-style devices, and this is from National Semiconductor. This is a reference design right here of a web pad, and you can see it's a wireless web pad. I do lots of different things. I can surf the internet, I can do my email, all kinds of different stuff here. I got to hit the button to do it. There we go. You can go onto the internet. You can go and do email. You can and do all this wirelessly. I want to show you the web right here because we really are up on the internet. You see right here, we just pulled up the National Semiconductor site. Up on the internet, carrying it around. Now, wireless, no wires. This is a reference design, which means you're not going to be able to buy this particular unit. The nice thing about a reference design is not only do we have this, we have real units that actually work on that design. Oh, by the way, this would be the access port right here. This is from Samsung. And this is their Izzy. Get it? Easy, Izzy. This is also built around the same Geode chip. It's a wireless network access device, and I can use this to do, I got my email, I got my internet, I got all kinds of stuff, and I'm just going to pull around here so I can see it. I'm going to show you what the internet would look like now. Oh, there's a usage model I want you to think about here when you're using this. Imagine there you are, sitting at home, and you're watching TV, and you're chatting at the same time. So you're running the chat client, you're doing email, running address, running the internet. This sort of a thing is very powerful because you don't have to sort of zoom in and use web TV and look at the internet on your television. You don't have to sit there with a notebook in your lap. Instead, sit there, be on the internet. And not only that, because it's wireless, because it works really well, is I can carry this pretty much anywhere. I can walk around and I can be on the internet. Now imagine I got one for one person in the house, one for another person in the house. These both work on the same network, so they work interoperably. We're going to see a lot of devices built around this. We're going to see a lot of web pads down the road. Now, I just showed you a reference design and a real shipping product. This one actually is going to be out sometime the first half of next year for about $400 or $500. I'm going to move on to a couple of products that are a little bit further out there, a little bit more pie in the sky, but are built around the same platform. First of all, this is the eyebrow right here, and well, yeah, it looks kind of cool, doesn't it? It's made of plastic. It's just a plastic demo, but think about it. This would sit on your countertop. It would sit maybe in your den. It's kind of cool looking. It's got 2 speakers. All of these devices will do real audio, so there's another interesting thing. Wireless real audio anywhere in your house. This one will be wired and tethered. It'll have a keyboard like this. And if you've seen the eye opener, we've showed off the eye opener from NetPliance. It's a lot like that. It's a wireless internet device. Doesn't run Windows. In this case, this runs PCOS. This other one's running QNX, I believe. And finally, our friends over at VTech, who come up with a lot of phones and a lot of other interesting stuff, came up with this. It's just an email station, and it's designed so that you can give this to somebody who doesn't want a computer. All they want is email, and they can use this. They'll see their email up here, and they'll type right here. This is actually a non-working version, but supposedly this thing's going to be out right away. $100 for the device, $750 for as much email as you can possibly consume. Lots and lots of internet appliances. I think we're going to see more appliance-like devices over the coming few days. So we things like this. But Leo.
Personal computer and one of these devices. How many of you would choose the PC? How many of you choose the iPad or a pad-like device? Yeah, see, that's what my point exactly. I'm not sure the world is ready for these devices.
It's not a choice, Leo.
Oh,
you can
it's
have
not a
both.
choice, folks.
You got a computer in the office, you got this in the living room. How many TVs do you own, Leo?
One, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
I don't believe you.
It's true. My wife sold my other one. That's true. After the break, are you curious about how the massive machine that is Comdex actually gets rolling every year? As Sisyphus that starts it uphill, we got the ultimate Comdex authority on hand to reveal all when the ZDTV Comdex live broadcast continues. Test your Comdex knowledge and maybe walk away with a big old bag of swag, by the way. That's the stuff we all get, SWAG, they tell me. Take our Comdex quiz and answer questions like this one. Are you ready? You can take it right now. The Comdex International Matchmaking Pavilion serves what purpose? Take the quiz and find out. My mind's working. That's ZDTV's Comdex Hub at zdtv.com/Comdex. Comdex is really, truly a geek love fest every year. But have you ever wondered how this Uber technology event comes about? Joining us, the man who whips it all into shape every year, a man who has truly earned the title of Mr. Comdex. His kids will tell you that, too. It's Vice President and General Manager of Comdex, Bill Sell. Good to have you, Bill. Welcome.
It's great to be here.
When do you get to relax? Is today the busy day? Yesterday? When is
Yesterday and today with the Bill Gates keynote. Yesterday and then clearly today there are a lot of keynotes. Getting the doors open and getting the first wave of the 200,000 people here in Las Vegas this week through the doors.
Isn't that amazing? Is this more attendance than past years or less?
We're trending a little bit ahead of where we were last year. Last year we had a little over 200,000. We're right now projecting around 200, but certainly the crowds here are denser. There's a lot louder. They're certainly enjoying it a lot more this year, too, I hope.
I think when you do the final count, you're going to find there are a lot more people. I have never had such a hard time moving around, and that's, I guess, a good thing from your point of view.
Well, it's a good thing for the exhibitors as well. There are 2,100 exhibiting companies here.
How many different nations come here?
154 are represented in the audience base here. They
That's
really do come,
exciting.
and it's the world's biggest gathering in the computer industry at all time now.
We're talking about in the chat rooms right now the relevance of having one massive trade show for the whole world. Do you think there really needs to be a place where everybody gets together one time a year?
There really does, because it is the one place where all the deal makers come. Everybody comes to launch products here. We're looking at thousands of new products that are coming to market here in 1 week. And when you look at it, where else could something like this happen but really in a place like Las Vegas where the glitz and the glamour all come together.
Well, not to mention the hotel rooms. There's nowhere else in the world you could do it.
We have 2 full convention centers, Las Vegas Convention Center and
Yeah.
the Sands Expo and Convention Center, and then the hotels attached to both of those, the Venetian and the Las Vegas Hilton. All of them filled. We're in 54 hotels for guests all over town.
It's truly amazing. How many people are on your staff to organize this?
On the Comdex team directly, we're looking at about 268 people here from our organization,
Wow.
just putting it together.
And does it reach a climax just the day before? I mean,
It keeps going actually all week long here
Yeah.
because we're also working on selling next year's program.
so you already started next year.
We actually are working on next year's at this point, and we've been aggressively actually selling things and getting the exhibitors for next year's
Right.
program lined up as well.
How has the .com focus worked for you? The
That's big
internet
this
stuff.
year. It is
Yeah.
really about technology solutions for the internet economy, and
Right,
we
right.
have lots and lots of different .com players. There's about 120 of them here with a .com in their name alone.
Wow.
And then all of the traditional type of players, like the Microsofts, Toshibas, Gateways, all of those companies are certainly .com players as well, and they're here as well.
Let's get some advice for the Comdex goer. Of course, you go and you see the big Microsoft booth. Philips has a huge booth. Sony. You see the big glitzy booths. Where do you go to see the interesting stuff?
You need to go to some of the pavilions as well. Clearly,
Yeah.
the big places are to go, but something like the Bluetooth Pavilion,
Right
with
over
the
here,
wireless
yeah, the
technology
wireless.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, or something like the Kodak Digital Imaging Pavilion. Digital cameras are big here this year, and those are the kinds of things to see as well.
This is the 20th anniversary of Comdex. You doing anything to celebrate?
Yeah, absolutely. On Tuesday evening, we have the Micrographics Chili Cook-Off.
Right.
And in recognition of the 20-year anniversary, they go back 20 years, the Commodores are being brought in.
Wow.
So they will be performing at the MGM Grand live tomorrow evening. On Wednesday, we have the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, tell me about that. I haven't heard about that.
That is a big party that Comdex is throwing. It's in the parking lot. Free to everybody. We do ask for a nominal charity donation there with TechCore and Computers for Schools as the
good group.
beneficiaries. 3 bands. Sinbad is the lead-off entertainer. And we hear rumor that Paul Allen may even be on stage performing.
Playing.
Playing.
He's a heck of a guitarist, isn't
Yes,
he? Yeah.
And we hear that he's coming in just for this program on Wednesday afternoon.
That'll be fun. Well, happy anniversary. Congratulations.
much.
Another great show,
Okay.
Bill. And we'll see you next year.
Great
right
to
here.
have you here. Thank you.
Bill Sell. Bill's provided some fascinating statistics about Comdex for our website, so be sure to check it out. You point your browser. Do I have to say it again? ZDTV.com/Comdex. Let's go back to my friend Jim Louderback, who's got another cool product from the floor of Comdex. Jim, what do you got today?
As long as we have, you've probably gathered up a lot of personal information, and if you're like me, you've probably forgotten a lot of that personal information. Well, now there's an answer. SanDisk has this. It's a personal information carrier. It's an 8 meg personal information carrier, and what it does is it allows you to store all of your information, medical records, and all kinds of other stuff on this thing that you basically just hang around your neck. Now, the interesting thing about it is, as you use it, you might want to, say, plug this into a computer somewhere. Well, that's where you've got this. You've got a little PC card right here, and if you want to read it, all you do is stick this in here, and you can read all your personal information. So any computer can read it and carry it around. This is a great place to keep medical records, your information, how to get in touch. In fact, you know, I'm sick of those badges we have to wear at Comdex so that we walk around because we look like total dorks. This would be a cool thing because you just walk around and just kind of wave this by, and they'd scan it and they'd say, oh, you paid your Comdex money, you can come in. The other interesting thing about this is the Army has purchased $2 million worth of these, and if the contract goes all the way through, they'll sell about 2 million or 3 million of them. Just about every serviceman will have this personal information carrier, so you know all about who they are if anything happens. What do you think, Leo?
Those are the new dog tags.
Dog tags.
Wow, and it's amazing that they have the durability. I mean, that,
New dog tags, Leo.
Wow.
Here, check it out.
All right, that's cool. And you don't look dorky wearing these? You
put it
promise me?
Inside your shirt, Leo.
Uh-huh.
Inside the shirt.
All right, thanks, Jim. Kate Patello's on the show floor at the Broadband Pavilion, looking at high-speed internet. What the heck?
I'll tell you what, Leo, trying to figure out all the intricacies of broadband can be really like fighting your way through a jungle. So we're going to try and help you find some light at the end of the tunnel when ZDTV Comdex Live continues. Look at this thing. The jungle out there.
You're watching ZDTV Comdex live.
All right, here we are live on the Comdex floor. You know, folks, Comdex is all about all of the big things we're seeing here. We talk about big topics, but you know, the Comdex is also about small things as well. And here at Comdex, you know, we sell we're talking about the chips that actually go into the cards that you make. And as you can see here, what we're looking at is a full selection of iTex chips that are going into the new DSL modems. And these are like the brand new technology that's coming out for G-Lite upcoming, which will give you 1.5 megabits downstream and 512 up. The SAM chipset, for instance, again, to tell you what's on the cutting edge with DSL modems, it'll auto-sense G-Lite, it'll auto-select channels or subbands with the best signal. So it's automatically looking for the best signal that it can get. And that's an amazing thing. Then you can actually move up to the Apollo 2, which includes performance diagnostics and is plug and play. So as you can see, this is some of it at work. It's just really running smooth. It's really running fast. This is the SAM, the first one I talked about for G-Lite. Anyway, folks, it's out there. It's coming. The DSL technology is picking up rapidly. You're going to see these chipsets on your DSL modems coming up, so keep your eye out for them. But your next question is, fine, now that I've got a great DSL modem, what do I do now? What if I want to start my own ISP? What can I do with all this high-speed broadband once I've got it? Well, one thing you might want to do, of course, and many of our viewers do, is start their own ISP. So you might want to check out, for instance, this company. This is CI Host. Now, these folks are indicative of a lot is what you're going to see in the future all over the place. They take care of hosting and domain registration. They're multi-platform. Unix, NT. But this is the most important thing I think that you need to look for now, folks, is scalability. These people will let you start, this company, for instance, with a tiny ISP. Say you want 25 email accounts. You can get that. And you can also get CGI binary access, front page extensions, list server, all kinds of things that they support for you for as low as like $20 a month. And in terms of scalability, you can add access as you go. You'll always have the CGI binary access, but you can get more and more server space as your user needs increase. More FTP usage. You can work all the way up to completely limitless FTP server space, actually 800 meg of server space. So as you can see, it really will give you somewhere to go, and you can work your way up. So that's really the trend to be looking for when